The best judges, I think, are the ones that have had clients in the past, the ones that show compassion to people, the ones that fashion a remedy that doesn't please everybody, but it's fair. I had another case with him, and he says, wait a second. He's talking to my client. He says, you have all these rights? All these rights, and your lawyer's telling you to waive his right. We're doing a plea. And he said, your lawyer's telling you to waive all these rights? Making me, and I'm a brand new lawyer, and he's making, we all knew a bunch of people, and he was just messing with me. But it is interesting to see, different ways of judging.
Ixnay on the bond A.
Ixnay on the on bay. Okay. So, we had a judge, Judge Hardigan. Here, let me grab it. This is Judge Hardigan. Judge Hardigan, so sometimes, like, you hear the ixnay on the on bay or whatever. I like to, when I can, be a little jocular in court because it just makes the court go better. So it's just kind of just who I am. I like to make people smile. I like to make people laugh.
You have had from, no, it's not a good morning. They have given you
No, it's not a good morning. First of all, your bow tie is just a little bit too tight. But guess what? They put their pants on one leg at a time. They're no better or worse than anybody else.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. And this actually is kind of a fun-filled episode because with our Content Genius's direction, which is what we have here, and you know him as Michael Rivers, I know him as the Content Genius, we are reacting to, we're going to talk a little bit about judges today. Some judges are full of themselves. Some judges are funny. Some judges are having a great time. Some judges are really serious. Some judges wear bow ties. Some judges are just judges. But before we get to this fun-filled, hardcore look at judges, this is brought to you by our loyal sponsor, eForms.com. eForms.com is a very effective way to get any kind of legal form you want online for like a bill of sale, power of attorney, rental agreement, anything that you need a written document for. It saves you because guess what? If you have to go to court and you have it in writing, the document doesn't lie. So you get the signature of the person you're trying to enforce the legal agreement against, and you're golden. So it also is an excellent way to avoid the high cost of a lawyer. So go to eForms.com. They're a very loyal sponsor for a CLR, and that be that. So I know no funny story about Grandma this time because Grandma's actually sleeping in my basement. And we're just trying to figure out what her next shenanigan's going to be. But before we get to that, we also have a little merch store, clrbrucerivers.com. Michael, what do they get there?
You can get just about anything, actually. As you can see what I'm wearing, you can get the Stop Self-Snitching hat, spread the word, and also you can get this.
So I had a public defender talk about that particular photo of me. And the public defenders, I was being cross-examined on a post-conviction case. And then the public defender asked me, were you trying to send a message to the court? Ridiculous. Okay, so we've got Judge Fletcher. One of the things that you have with judges is that some judges think they're just king shit. And they are kind of, because they've got a lot of power. A federal judge can stop a president. Did you know that? They have a lot of power. A district court judge is usually somebody that didn't make it in private practice, or somebody who's altruistic. Generally, it's the other way around, because they don't get paid a ton of money. I mean, they get paid $150,000 or so a year for federal, or no, not for a state court judge.
Federal judge.
Federal judges make a little over $200, and then they can make a lot more than that when they retire if they do, but they're appointed for life. So let's give you a little primer on judges. You've got district court judge, appellate court judge, Supreme Court judge, and then you've got circuit court, like the Circuit Court of Appeals, and then this U.S. Supreme Court. That's kind of how it works in most jurisdictions. But guess what? They put their pants on one leg at a time. They're no better or worse than anybody else. So let's see what Judge Fletcher has to say with the people in front of him.
You have had from, no, it's not a good morning. They have given you an
No, it's not a good morning. You know, first of all, your bow tie is just a little bit too tight.
from, no, it's not a good morning. They have given you an offer to dismiss this case. It's funny that we literally have to beg people to work for damn dismissals. You, since August 28th, have had an offer to dismiss this case if you perform how many years?
So that's a difficult thing for a judge or even a defense lawyer to get around. Sometimes you have the best offer on the table. You pay the restitution, we'll dismiss the case. And people will think, well, I didn't do anything wrong. You know, in a way, who fucking cares if you did anything wrong? They'll dismiss it if you just pay it. It is a coercive measure. But the judge is right.
4 hours of community service in a class, and you still haven't done the community service. What on earth?
Okay, now I'm just going to tell you something. 4 hours of community service. I mean, calm the fuck down. If he doesn't want to do it, make him do some jail time. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's like you have the opportunity here to keep this off your record. All you got to do is 4 hours of community service. You don't want to do it? Why would you? Why do you care? Why do you get pissed off? Why do you jump into their shit? I mean, okay, you want the criminal conviction? You can have it.
Service. What on earth have you been doing with your life that you can't commit 4 hours?
I wasn't aware of a community service until this weekend.
Mr. Slider? Now looks to me like he's throwing you under the bus now.
Judge, I have an open
You
door
know?
policy for all my clients.
So you really shouldn't speak when a judge is speaking. I mean, that's first of all, you also shouldn't go to court with a shirt that says fuck the police on it. That's generally not a good idea. But you get in front of the court, you got to be demurred in front of the court. The court's all powerful, blah, blah, blah. And you need to just listen.
I'm in the office every night till 9 p.m. I tell everyone, don't let 10 days come by unless you at least put some type of contact with me.
Miss Huertero, your case is 1,300 days old. We have given you bond after bond after bond, and now you get a third PR bond? I don't think so. I am now revoking that PR bond. She goes with you. Please. Can you appoint Ms. Huertero a lawyer, please?
I have a question. So we do our thing. We do our thing here, right? And it's completely independent of your practice, right? Nothing has to do with any of your cases or whatever.
Right.
Let's say, and then on the other end, you have Judge Judy, where it's, I mean, a lot of it's pre-rehearsed and whatnot. But where is the line drawn as far as being able to make money off of celebrity this sort of thing? Like, do you think he's getting paid off of this?
This judge?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But I do you think there would be like some sort of conflict of interest to be more entertaining if you know it's going to end up?
Oh, you would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think there would be some ethical, but I can't think of what it would be right offhand. But when you talk about Judge Judy, first of all, my paralegal's cousin went on Judge Judy. Regardless of who wins, both sides get paid to be on the show. And then if there is a judgment, the show pays the judgment. And what I don't like about Judge Judy is she's really disrespectful to everybody, you know, and she's just impatient. She's rude. She's loud. And I just, people don't need to be treated with indignity.
I'm here on Miss Rivera
In custody on bond.
on bond.
Just
Emmy, yes. So we were hoping you would allow us to roll the appearance until Monday.
Is she here?
She is not.
It's 500 days old.
Yes.
She's not here. It's a DWI. She was removed from the program. No, I can't possibly. That's not fair.
First of all, let's take a look at his jacket. It almost looks like it's a camouflage. And then he's got the bow tie. You got to love the bow tie.
Possibly. That's not fair.
Yes.
I'm glad that you disagree. It's an okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's a divert violation. It's 500 days old. She's supposed to be here. Ixnay on the bond A.
Ixnay on the on bay. Okay. So, you know, we had a judge, Judge Hardigan. Here, let me grab it. This is Judge Hardigan. Judge Hardigan, so sometimes, like, you hear the ixnay on the on bay or whatever. I like to, when I can, be a little jocular in court because it just makes the court go better. So it's just kind of just who I am. You know, I like to make people smile. I like to make people laugh. Judge Hardigan, I remember the first time I was in front of Judge Hardigan, I was doing a bail argument on a clinic for the city. I was doing a prosecution case. And I said, Your Honor, as part of conditions of release, we'd argue that no drugs or alcohol be imposed. And he goes, drugs? Wow, they're illegal. And then he looks at the defendant, but I think there might be a little bit of a problem for you, huh? And he's like this. You know, I had another case with him, and he says, wait a second. He's talking to my client. He goes, you have all these rights, and your lawyer's telling you to waive his right. We're doing a plea. And he said, your lawyer's telling you to waive all these rights? Making me, and I'm a brand new lawyer, and he's making, and we all knew a bunch of people, and he was just messing with me. But it is interesting to see, you know, different ways of judging.
But thanks for trying.
I just got my job actually 2 days ago. Finna be late on the first day.
So one of the things that you need to understand is the judge does have the power. I remember I was in court with Judge Duffy, and the guy wouldn't stop talking. And the judge says, okay, you now have 30 days. Would you like to go for another 30? Yes, Judge, I would. Would you like to go for another 30? Yeah, and then you got up to almost a year of contempt.
¿Qué pasa si tú vas a la cárcel y no estás aquí con permiso en este país? La próxima
He can even be angry in Spanish.
vez te prometo, no me importa un coco que tú dices que de la excusa. La próxima vez que tú tienes un positivo por
Next time you have a positive for alcohol, I'll put you
Te
there.
voy a poner por alcohol, te pongo ahí.
I'm going to set your bail extremely high.
¿Me entiendes, Méndez?
Okay. Now, I'm going to just say this about Judge Fletcher. When he comes to court, he should not come to court looking like Beetlejuice.
You got to give it up. You might as well wish for a unicorn, Alex.
That's correct, Your Honor. We still don't have the written down.
It's not going to happen. They don't want to be found. So.
Just have a seat.
I love it.
So it looks like everybody's like, I think that there's somebody in court. This must be a Halloween because he's got a Beetlejuice costume on. And then somebody at council table's got an angel's halo. You know, Judge, I can't remember her name. We had a judge in St. Paul, Minnesota. When she was a prosecutor, she came to court dressed as a witch. Dressed as a witch. You don't come to court with a fucking Halloween costume on. So you got a guy dressed up like Donald Trump, and then you've got an angel, and then you get the judge dressed up like Beetlejuice.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to take a test. Begging you, can I please take my exam in a different facility other than the one you sent me to yesterday?
I'm revoking your bond and I'm putting you in
See, this is why I wouldn't be a good judge. I would never want to put anybody in jail.
jail, sir. Yeah, I have here. Hold on. Let me read this to him. The client reported to pretrial today for a POC UA test. The client made verbal threatening.
So when you're threatening court staff whether it's probation or the judge's clerk, what you're doing essentially is you're threatening the judge because they're an extension of the court.
Test. The client made verbal threatening statements toward our staff members in the office. The precinct 1 deputy advised that the client, due to his behavior, is a threat to the staff.
And guess what? That's when you get taken into custody.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was asking him, can I please, for my own
I don't really care for judges that don't wear the robe. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a traditionalist.
personal
No.
record was
This
going
is what we do, where we send people to go to. And because you threatened the staff, okay, I have here that you did. You've been threatening to me. You've been threatening to Mr. Dixon. I've seen the way you treat everybody else. It's unacceptable. And now I'm revoking your bond and you will go to jail. He goes with you.
You know, the best judges, I think, are the ones that have had clients in the past, the ones that show compassion to people, the ones that fashion a remedy that doesn't please everybody, but it's fair. You know, sometimes you can get your ass handed to you, but you got it done in a fair way. There was a judge, Polly Class. She was here in Ramsey.
Do you want to say a name? Or no? Okay.
No, Flynn. Anyway, there was a Judge Flynn, you know, in Ramsey County. There was a really nice lady judge. She was very tough on sentencing, but she was excellent when it came to evidence and how she would rule in a case. I had her for a homicide, and oh my God, she was as pleasant could be. But as she's looking at you, your client is doing 25 years. You know, I got an acquittal in that case, but she was very tough on sentencing, but very fair during a trial. So you got a fair shake. So, you know, this has just been a little glimpse into what it's like to be a judge and to be in front of a judge and what you can expect when you get to court. So make sure, Michael, that can you make sure that every single one of our listeners go to CLRBruceRivers.com?
Yeah.
Why would they go there?
Why would they go there? All the stuff that we make in-house. I mean, sweatshirts, hats, everything. Spread the message. Get everybody else on board to stop self-snitching, stop self-incriminating on your own livelihood.
Christmas is only a month away, right?
Yeah,
so make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon, and make sure you go to CLRBruceRivers.com, get some merch, because I want to see you and all your family members in Stop Self-Snitching gear. I don't care what you buy, but buy it, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, police is at my god.